All right, one of the interesting things for Australian audience listening to this is the echoes of similar arguments that we're having in our own country. Our next question is from Ajoy Roy.
Well, India with its emerging youth is poised to be one of the biggest economic superpowers by around 2020 and beyond. India knows it, the world is anticipating it, and the non-resident Indians, many of them, are considering returning back to India. In view of this, and in the context of the forthcoming elections, what does this panel know about the credentials of Mr. Rahul Gandhi and Mr. Narendra Modi and its implications for the people of India and Australia if one of them is elected as the next Prime Minister?
Okay, let's start with Shwapan Dasgupta, because I think it's known that you are generally a supporter of Narendra Modi. Perhaps you need to explain who he is to an Australian audience.
Well, he's been the Chief Minister of a province in Western India for the past 12 years.
A state, Shoma, not a province.
Well, a state, okay. I was using Australian analogies.
No, we have states too.
We play the state game. Sorry about it.
But that's all right.
Now,
I think this disregard for historical facts that Narendra Modi shows every day
I think,
has rubbed off on his fans.
Ding, 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 ding. Round two.
I think there has been a degree of supreme condescension and conceit from the entrenched intellectual classes, very much like we saw in Australia some time ago, about a person who's come in, who is outside the beltway, as it were. The point about
Who's the
Narendra
person
Modi,
in Australia you're referring to?
I'm looking at Tony Abbott, the manner in which he was decried by the aesthetes in Australia for the manner in which he articulated his politics.
Okay, so for the Australian audience, you're suggesting that Narendra Modi is a kind of Indian Tony Abbott, are you?
I think there could be similarities. I think there could be a lot of similarities. I think emphasis on high growth, emphasis on minimal government, emphasis on building up skills of Indians, and most important, I think, emphasis on a determined and honest leadership. These are the qualities which mark Narendra Modi, and which is what is resonating across the country, and which is why he is a favorite to win this election.
Shwapan, I'm not a part of this Indian election, clearly, but I can guarantee you that if Tony Abbott had been allegedly a part of something that happened on the trains in India 3 years ago, he would not have been allowed to progress through the election campaign without saying sorry. Without saying sorry.
I think we're talking about something that happened not 3 years ago, but back in 2002.
Well, 2002. I'm very sorry, but look.
And it wasn't on the trains; it was in response to something that happened on the trains. But let's not.
But Tony, you can't go criticising our Prime Minister and comparing him to a man that has been involved in something that was really quite offensive. To a big part of your population.
Tony, something that I think your audience in Australia needs to appreciate and understand is that there are many, many Indians who look at the two contenders and say to themselves, can a country of 1.2 billion not put up people more deserving of being Prime Minister? The truth of the matter is, neither of them, frankly, deserves to be the next Prime Minister of India. Narendra Modi has obvious failings, which I'm not going to go into because I think they're too well known and it'd be boring to discuss them. But clearly he carries...
They're not well known. They're not actually well known to the Australian audience. If he were to become Prime Minister, there is this the question that Stuart was just talking about is about something that happened in 2002.
No, it's the moral responsibility that he carries.
In response to Mujahideen killing Hindus on a train.
We don't
A
know.
lot of
It
Muslims
wasn't
were
Mujahideen,
killed in Gujarat,
But,
in his province. And the question is, did he have anything to do with that? Did he turn a blind eye to those sectarian killings in Gujarat?
The truth is this. He is morally responsible as Chief Minister for what happens in the state in three senses. One, it shouldn't have happened. If it has and a riot's taken place, the responsibility and the buck stops with him. Two, the manner in which you respond to it when it happens. And three, the steps you take thereafter to rehabilitate those who are victims. On all three counts, he's been found wanting. The Supreme Court has gone on record in April 2004 in a specific judgment. It wasn't just a comment made in court to call him and his government modern-day Neros who deliberately chose. It was not. Forgive me. April the 12th.
It was not a judgment.
Forgive me. It was
Karan,
the Zahid.
It was not a judgment.
It was.
It was a stray comment
Forgive
of a
me.
judge.
April the 12th, 2004. The Zahira Sheikh judgment in the Best Bakery case. I assure you, I'm right.
I assure you, Karan, you're wrong.
After the show is over, I'll send you the judgment. I'll send you the judgment after the show is over. The judgment referred to the Modi government as modern-day Neros who deliberately chose to look the other way, as helpless children and innocent women burnt to death. And there's a lot more they said as well. But that moral weight he carries still. And if tomorrow when he's Prime Minister, there were to be a communal riot somewhere else, with what credibility could he say to a chief minister of another state, you need to step in and make sure this doesn't happen because he failed when it was his turn? But
okay,
equally,
we need to get
credibility.
Schwappen to respond to that, then I'll come to Shoma. Go ahead.
I think it's fair to say that Mr. Modi owes moral responsibility for what happened in 2002. I think that's a very fair comment to make, and it also suggests there was an administrative lapse. However, to suggest that he should be disqualified from politics as a result of that, and therefore to imply that there was a sort of criminal conspiracy in which he participated in, I think is stretching the point too far.
I agree.
I would say that had such been the case, then I think we would certainly have ruled out Rajiv Gandhi as a prime minister of this country, because it was under his watch that certain horrific things happened in the aftermath of Mrs. Gandhi's assassination.
All right, we're close to running out of time.
I think it's important to note that what happened in 2002 has never been repeated in Gujarat and is unlikely to ever be repeated in India. And I think the lessons of 2002 have been internalized by the entire political system, and it's best to look forward rather than look back.
Okay, Shoma.
I think
A brief answer, I'm sorry, because we're running out of time.
Swapan is right, but I'm tired of the moral equivalences we keep making, that because the Congress screwed up in 1984, that it's okay to do so in 2002. And Swapan seems to have really short-term memory, because it's barely a few months old that we've had the Muzaffarnagar riots, in which not only the SP and the Congress, but the BJP had a huge hand to play in.
Really?
And unfortunately,
really?
Yes. I mean,
really? I mean,
Swapan, do you not know?
You are really
I
mean, this is wonderful.
SP,
the point is, it's an SP government.
Swapan,
where do you bring Mr. Modi into the picture?
Did I mention Mr. Modi?
You brought the BJP into the picture.
Are you unaware of the fact?
Completely unaware. Yes, I am unaware.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to give...
Tony, no, may I finish making the point?
Yes, okay, if you're quick.
I'm really sorry if a public commentator like Swapan is unaware that both SP and Congress and BJP ministers and MLAs had a role to play in those riots. There was a BJP MLA that actually put out an extremely egregious and false piece of video which created a lot of tension in that place. And the fact that the top leadership has not seen fit to criticize his actions is appalling. And that's true of the Congress and the SP as well.
All right.
So I just want to say, I want to reiterate what Karan said. We are a benighted nation if today we are left with Narendra Modi and Rahul Gandhi as the top contenders for Prime Minister.
Well, we need to say, Swapan, we actually need to hear from Shashi.
We don't run a presidential system here, we run a parliamentary system. Parties in our country will be voted for. Who they choose as their leaders is up to them. The BJP has chosen Mr. Modi. We, as far as we're concerned, we're running on a platform, a record of governance, as well as a set of values which we believe are closer to the values of most Indians than Mr. Modi's values. Second, in our country, whether we grow at 6% or 9% or less, as we now are, very frankly, we have to worry about the bottom 25% of our society. Congress party does, Mr. Modi doesn't. And I think that's, again, an important difference we need to put across. Rahul Gandhi does stand for the dispossessed, for his concerns for the poor and the underprivileged in our society. Third, there is an idea of India, whether you like it or not. It's not an elite affectation, it's an idea of India as a land for people of every background, every religion, every caste, creed, color, language, dress, food habits. That India is a capacious India. It's an India that incorporates everyone, where everyone has equal rights, equal beliefs, equal authority, equal duties. Congress stands for that, Mr. Modi does not. He stands for a much more narrow sectarian vision, as his repeated statements, pronouncements and conduct have demonstrated. So I believe there is a choice. And to reduce it to merely two individuals is not right. We have to look at what exactly we want our country to be all about. And I believe that when we come to the ballot boxes in the end, our nation will stand for the India that they cherish and not for the kinds of claims that we've had made on this panel today on behalf of some.